Hey Lauren, thank you so much for joining us. We have been praying like we have never prayed before, and yet we're still asking the question of Jesus. Jesus, would you teach us how to pray? And so we wanted to bring you as our prayer coordinator into the conversation, just to shed a little bit of light on what it looks like for us to incorporate a rhythm of prayer. And a couple of weeks ago, you introduced our new prayer rhythm to us, and we just wanted to take some space to unpack that a little bit further, what that prayer rhythm looks like, and yeah, what it means for us to be able to learn what it means to pray in this space. So thank you so much for joining us. Do you want to kick off with just unpacking a little bit of what the new prayer rhythm is for us at Lagan Valley Vineyard?
Yeah, sure. As you're all aware, we've moved from 24/7 prayer, which was absolutely incredible. However, we've moved it into more of what does it look like to have a sustainable rhythm of prayer. So it's 3 times, 3 ways, and 5 days. And yes, it has taken us all a lot of practicing on how to get that right. But 3 times, 3 ways, 5 days is our new rhythm, and it is what it says on the tin. It's 3 times a day and 3 different ways where we explore what it is to engage with God in your 3-2-1, talking to Him, what it is to delight in Him, just asking Him into your day, and then what it is to intercede. So there are the 3 ways. And then 5 days is your Monday to Friday.
Brilliant. And I guess the rhythm of prayer that we're being invited into, traditionally it's known as fixed hour prayer. It's taking certain moments in our day and hitting pause, and then into that space, lifting our heart and our mind up to Jesus. And we see this throughout the scriptures. Actually, we noticed Daniel, he 3 times a day would have blown open the windows, pointed himself towards Jerusalem, and prayed on 3 occasions throughout the day. And this has been the rhythm that the church has always prayed, actually, and they found themselves. And we see this right the way through the early church, through the Middle Ages, into the monastic movement, and right the way through to today, the importance of taking certain moments just to hit
Yeah.
pause throughout our days to pray. Why is this rhythm of prayer important? Why are we going to be moving into this kind of space moving forward as a church?
I think for probably more than one reason, and just like you've said, we've seen in history how fixed hour prayer has massive benefit, and it's almost like one of those we were made for it moments. Um, I think one of the things that is blowing us all away is just the amount of people and the amount of hours spent in prayer in the last couple of months, and we are just a small segment of what is happening throughout the world. Like throughout the world, prayer has just literally gone viral. And whereas we love that, and whereas we are just even so expectant about what God is going to do in and through that, um, what we see also in history is where when there is a crisis, people pray. And as much as I'm saying that is so good, we want to be a church that prays whether we're in crisis or whether we're not. Because often what happens is when a crisis hits, it does shake us. And we go back to what is a rhythm. We go back to what we know and what is safe, what is secure. That's just almost how we're created. So if we can develop a rhythm of prayer that is almost like our go-to, whether we feel like it or not, then whether it's crisis or not, we're going to pray. So that's, yeah.
It's great, and I think learning to pray whenever we don't feel like it is one of the keys whenever it comes to praying. Anytime I get the chance to, I love to head down to the Benedictine monastery down in Rostrevor, and they pray on 5 occasions throughout the day. I think 6:45 is the first time of prayer, and then I think it's 8:30 at night. And it's really interesting whenever you spend time praying with them, because they're just yawning all of the time, and they don't like hide that. They just like, actually, it is too early to be praying, but I'm still choosing to pray. And there's something about that intentionality whenever it comes to prayer that is just so important. Whenever it comes to, actually, I'm committing to pray this way. And also the key in prayer, and you've helped us in this in terms of how you've led us in recent months, the key of prayer is really relationship. And
Yeah.
when it comes to a relationship, it requires commitment, it requires investment, it requires showing up whenever we don't feel like it for the sake of the person that we love. And it is absolutely no different whenever it comes to praying. You talked about us just being so, well, I think we could say so proud of our community for how they've reacted as we've called them to stay at their posts in the course of the past couple of months. But if you were to inspire us as a community into this new space, what would you love to say to our community right now as we pivot from a time whenever we've really invested in intercession to a season where we're moving into more deliberate, intentional, sustainable prayer? What would you want to say to members of our community as they listen and as they try to, I guess, engage in this new rhythm of prayer?
Wow, that's a big question. Um, yeah, I think stay at your post really does sum it up, and um, so that's one thing I would just continue to be saying is stay at your post. But yet, I think it is to go deeper, and it's not only how I'm not only going to say intercede, 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 but actually, just like you've said, it's all about cultivating relationship. And if you delight in the Lord, if you engage with the Lord, and then if you intercede, well, both engaging and delight is going to power up your intercession like never before. Because one, you'll begin to discover more and more who you are, but you're going to discover more and more who He is, who God is. Again, because it's a relationship. And a relationship is not one way in terms of conversation. And I remember learning this in my own journey of whenever I began to realize that He talks back. And that's actually what we're going after in 3 times, 3 ways, 5 days, is we're really wanting to encourage everyone in our community to engage and converse with the Lord. Interceding can sometimes feel a bit more like we're bringing our list to God and we're going, right, God, this is what I've got on my agenda, this is what's on my list. Whereas delight and engage is more than that. It's actually going, hi God, this is what's up. What are you doing today? Where are you at today? Then we start to hear. And yeah, so I would just be encouraging them, stay at your post, but also listen, because He's going to talk back.
It's great. It's brilliant. And I think the thing that we are most excited about as we move into this new rhythm of prayer is that we're able to weave it into the reality of our lives. It's not trying to everything that we're talking about in praying 3 times a day is very accessible to us all where we're already at. And there is a degree of commitment that we need to pray even whenever we don't feel like it. But the truth is that we are able to, in any moment, just simply pause and pray and engage with Jesus in that way. And so for us to be able to find spaces in whenever we're working from home, whenever we're working in our offices, if we're homeschooling our kids, if we're in the middle of Tesco's, if we're at the park or whatever, that we are able to find 3 moments just to hit pause and to be able to pray and learning to pray in different ways. I just think is so key as we begin to develop just a really good palette of prayer, of being able to draw on different ways of praying and just experiment with this, to be able to enjoy it, to be able to play around with it, and to be able to learn how Jesus has uniquely wired us to communicate with Him through our personal relationship with Him. Is just so key. Lauren, we're so grateful for how you've led us in this over the course of the past couple of months, and you've just led us so well in encouraging us into intercession, and thank you for how you're leading us into this new space. And I think the thing for us that we want to communicate to all of you who are watching is that we want to help you whenever it comes to how you pray. And so as we move into this new rhythm, we are going to be taking our communion services, also our 3-2-1 practices, and just resourcing you with really simple ways that you're just able to pray throughout. And we've covered some of those already, and we're going to be exploring those as we move forward. We're spending some time at the minute with our common practice of just setting an alarm in the afternoon and then into that interrupted space praying the Lord's Prayer. And there's going to be more of those things as we develop. Head on to our website, LyconValleyVineyard.com/equip, and then you'll be able to find out all the information that you need to be able to sign up and commit to praying through Stay at Your Post. And all the resources around prayer practices will also be on that page as we move ahead into this new rhythm of prayer. Lauren, thank you so much for your time.